Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Out on the Ranch with Dr. Lee. It is a beautiful Sunday morning in South Texas. It's about 80 degrees outside. Beautiful, clear skies, nice breeze blowing, sun shining, birds are singing. It could not be a better day. I know I ought to be in church, but I'm playing hooky today for a good reason. I think you'll agree with me. Anyway, I've already said my prayers to thank God for everything I've got, including my friends like you. No kidding, I do that. And I just wanted to say I appreciate you guys dropping in. This is going to be a special day, a really special day, and I've got a crazy little intro here, so I hope you can bear with me through this intro. It is a history lesson, and I've also got a tangible object that links together three men over the last couple of hundred years. So here we go. Hang on, this is going to be a wild ride and a little bit of a stretch of the imagination. And today, what links these three people together is this. And I know some of you are saying, these Texans and their guns, do they ever give it up? Well, no, not really. I'm sorry. But this is of great significance to my story. And it could also be a very significant feature of our country's colorful past. And we're going to roll back the clock to 1837, 38, somewhere in there. There was a young fella born back then that went to West Point, and he entered West Point in 1857, and he graduated in 1861, Civil War time. And by 1862, he had become the youngest brigadier general, I think, ever. Certainly up to that point, he was the youngest one, and I think he still is today. But nevertheless, George Armstrong Custer was his name, and he was quite a colorful figure through the Civil War. Big mouth, small brain, got in a lot of trouble, got kicked out of the army there for a while. But he, like I said, he was a general during the war. After the war, they busted him back down to a solid captain, and he remained a captain for a long time. I believe he passed away as a lieutenant colonel. But nevertheless, Custer was a wild man, and he got himself in a lot of trouble at the Little Bighorn. There's just certain things in this world you don't mess with. Rattlesnakes, John Wayne, the Cheyenne Indians, the Dakota Sioux Indians, especially the last two, if you don't know what you're doing, because they were just as smart as he is, and honestly a little bit smarter, because I think he let his attitude get in the way and they tricked him. He went in there with a little over 600 men. They split up in thirds, and he took between 200 and 250 in himself, and they ambushed him, and that was the end of the story. But where does this fit in? This particular pistol, revolver to the purist, this particular revolver could have been there. This is an 1873 Colt single action Army, and this particular pistol was made in 1874. It is a 4-digit serial number, and it is stamped. I hope you can see that. It says U.S. right in there somewhere. I can't really see what I'm doing. But the ones that are stamped with those low serial numbers in 1874 and stamped U.S., these were military pistols, and they made a big lot of them, and Colonel Custer drew quite a few of them, several hundred of them, and they went with him. I don't know the total production number of these pistols in that range, but this is definitely one of them. It could have made the trip. It could have stayed home in a box somewhere at the armory. I really don't know. There's no way to know which ones went and which ones stayed, but it could have. Anyway, it makes the story good. So, you know, someone once said, you should never let the truth get in the way of a good story. So it may be the truth, it may not, but nevertheless, it's in the story. That's our guy number one. Our guy number two, oh, and let me say one more thing. They decommissioned these. A lot of these pistols were pulled out of the service of the military in the late 1890s. They were dumped on the civilian market, and you could buy these things for a couple of bucks. So there was a young man in Mineral Wells, Texas, that bought this one for pocket change. And he was a doctor, and he needed a pistol to go under the seat of his buggy when he went out late at night and made house calls. And back then, that was a big thing. The doctors, you didn't go to the hospital unless you were really in trouble. And most of the doctoring was done in your home. And this guy's name was Dr. McCracken, and he lived in Mineral Wells, Texas. And Dr. McCracken was a wonderful man. He took care of all my family, all my grandparents, all my aunts and uncles, my dad, you know, my mom, all her family. He was the doctor for the whole town, and they loved him. Everyone in the town loved him like family. He was an awesome guy. He was an awesome doctor. He was the president of the Texas Medical Association, elected a president in 1911. And he was probably 45 years old at the time. But anyway, a wonderful man, a gifted doctor, and just a beautiful soul. But even those kind of people get in trouble when they're out late at night in a buggy by themselves. And so Dr. McCracken carried this pistol. So that is guy number 2, Dr. McCracken. And I'll tell you a story about Dr. McCracken. Oh, by the way, that pistol was kind of a revolutionary pistol. You didn't have to pour powder in it and then put a ball down in it and tap it all down and put a little cap on the nipple. You got to stick one of these in it. This is a 45 long Colt, and that is one of the very first cartridges that you could just stick 6 of these in there and shoot them, and stick 6 more in and shoot them really, really fast. A great improvement over the revolvers they had previously. Anyway, I'm done with the gun talk, so you anti-gun people you can breathe a sigh of relief. Now let's connect all these loose ends. Okay, so my great Uncle Ole and my great Aunt Beatrice, on this particular day where these events are going to happen, and this was in 1914, in the summer, in July, this time of year, and my great uncle, great aunt, they were staying with my grandfather, Matt Carricker, and his sweet wife, my granny, Martha Carricker, because Martha, my granny, was pregnant, and she was going to give birth any day. And they had been staying with them for about a week, and that's what you did back then, especially if you lived out on the farm like my grandparents did. So on this particular day, my grandfather went into my great uncle, and like I said, he was living with him there, and he said, "Uncle Ole," he said, "today's the day, the baby's coming. Can you run get Dr. McCracken?" So my uncle got on a horse and he rode into town from the farm, and he went up to Dr. McCracken's house, and here's a picture of it. Isn't that pretty? He got Dr. McCracken. They loaded up in Dr. McCracken's buggy, and my uncle said, and Dr. McCracken got that 45 and stuck it under the seat in his buggy, and away they went. They went out to the farm out by the Brazos River off Turkey Creek, and Dr. McCracken checked my grandmother over, and he said, "Maddie, honey, you're going to have to go to the hospital. I need some help getting this baby out of there." So they loaded my grandmother up in the buckboard wagon, and my uncle and aunt loaded up with my grandfather, and they went on the wagon. Dr. McCracken took his buggy, and they went back to the hospital. And a few hours later, my grandmother had given birth to a little baby boy, and they named him Floyd LeGrand Carricker. 103 years ago today. He's the 3rd guy. Anyway, I hope you like this story today. We're going to load everything up and head over to my uncle's house and give him a birthday party. And I sure hope you come along with us. Come along for the ride. It's going to be a good one. Okay.
Y'all want to sing?
Heck yeah.
I'm glad you didn't put 101 birthday candles on there.
Well, it says 103.
But it's easier to blow out 3 than it is 103. You kids want to help me blow these out?
Yeah.
Y'all want to help me blow them?
Yeah.
Come over here and help me blow them out.
Let's sing the song first, and then we can blow them out.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Floyd. Happy birthday to you. Blow it out for him.
And 103 more.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, somebody come blow these candles
Come
out.
on, kids.
Come on, Annie.
Blow these out.
Annie, you can do it.
I think it's all you, Floyd.
All right.
Yeah, all right. He did it. All right. Awesome.
All right.
one blow. All this noise you hear is Lee and his family. He's got a group here you wouldn't believe. You'd love them. No regrets.
Well, birthday boy, all your YouTube fans they're going to be leaving a whole bunch of comments today, and I think all of them are going to be saying happy birthday, we love you, Uncle Floyd. Do you have anything you want to say to them?
I do. Hello, all you wonderful people out there in this big old world. Here I am talking to you on my 103rd birthday. I wish all of you a happy, healthy life, and I'll be seeing you out on the ranch with Dr. Lee.
There you go.
Woohoo!
So thanks a lot for coming by for Uncle Floyd's birthday party today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I know the comment section today is going to be full because I know how much you guys love him too. And I also wanted to say I really appreciate not only the comments you leave for me, you know I love those, but I also appreciate the comments when one of you guys will leave a comment and then someone else will comment on that, and before you know it, there's a whole conversation going, and you guys are so nice to each other. I read a lot of forums, and it's just like the most awful things people say to each other, but for some strange reason, what I see on this forum, I'm just blessed, man. You guys are awesome, and y'all love each other, and you know, we're all complete strangers, yet we have a respect and we have a love for one another, and to me that's golden. I was thinking last night, if this channel never achieves anything but that, it was worth every ounce of trouble. And honestly, it's no trouble. Thanks again for stopping by. We will see you guys next time on Out on the Ranch with Dr. Lee. Remember, I love you, and we'll see you later. Adios. So what you doing there, Al?
Neutering a dog, Dad.
All right. Who's gonna learn you?
That's a mistake.